Hey everyone, happy Facebook Live. Oh boy, it's been a struggle today. My goodness, all this stuff doesn't work. First of all, we don't even know if these speakers are working, so let me know if you can hear me. That's
I
all.
mean, the
Just
mic
one
input looks to
just
be up.
one comment.
Well, actually, no, it's
Huh?
What?
because usually when we talk, there's like green,
Yeah,
like those dots go up.
right there. The mic input.
Check,
No,
check,
but like
check,
that one right
check.
there, though.
Audio
Oh,
is
so it's good,
good.
it's good.
All right. Yay. Because there's been a lot of stuff that hasn't worked. So
Yeah.
hey, we're going to dive right into it. First of all, a little bit of isolated storm activity that popped up. We got Peyton and Zach. And hey, let's look at Mega Doppler because some of you got a nice little downpour earlier this evening, and it developed basically right over Fayetteville. I mean, this is absolute downpour right over Paradise Valley. This radar loop doesn't go back far enough, but you could see that little pop up activity. Now, I got to let you know, I really think the 4th of July, we're going to see some storm chances. And I think those storm chances are going to be moving in pretty close to fireworks time. I just don't like the looks of it in terms of timing. Now, I know we need the rain. There's no doubt about that. The rain is going to be very helpful. But at the same time, this rain could be so much, it could cause some flooding issues because it's going to come down so fast, so heavy. By the way, do you want to see?
Yeah, it's gonna be quick too.
And by the way, I'm not taking anything from anybody. I'm really not. So, you see that right there? Yep, exactly. I'm not gonna take anything from anybody, and I can't even do anything on that. So, anyways, well, you might think it is BS.
Some people want fireworks. Some people don't want fireworks. Some people want rain. Some people don't want rain.
You can talk to me tomorrow night when it's raining and storming and coming and pouring down rain. I do think that there's going to be my least favorite weatherman. Wow, we got some nice people
Man.
on here.
Wow. All right. Guess
I
we'll do a
mean,
live
honestly,
stream.
I may not just yeah. Thanks, Michelle.
Just scrap the live stream.
I appreciate that.
Got some haters.
I mean, here's the deal.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so humid. It's gonna be so warm, so much water vapor. We have that front coming in, and along that boundary, we're definitely gonna be seeing rain.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be rain and storms.
Yeah, and we
That
saw
cold
rain
front comes through.
earlier this afternoon, and the forcing was really not even there.
Mhm.
And tomorrow it's gonna be a lot better. So definitely looking like some rain tomorrow.
Yeah, that
And-
boundary coming in. For the
You know,
cold
we
front.
even saw that tornado warning just to our north. So
Yeah, there was a good amount of energy to that north as well. North of that, so a little bit of energy will go a long way in this environment with with dew points in kind of the middle 70s or lower 70s, but temperatures in the upper 90s as well. It's gonna be pretty stout environment. Of course, not a whole lot of wind shear, but it's just gonna be like a line of storms that comes through. It's gonna be kind of similar to last summer. I was just these line of storms that were really quick and packed a punch, but with so much humidity, as you mentioned, so much water vapor,
yeah,
that could bring a lot of rain very fast.
So here's the deal. We're just going to show you the timing. There's the chance of rain, 70%. You can see it bumping up to 70%. This is late evening into the early morning hours. Hey, models might be lying. Maybe storms aren't going to happen. Meteorologically, it makes sense. Severe weather risk, it makes sense. Here's a look at the latest HRRR. That's for tonight. We're going to move through that. Here's a look at the future track here. You'll notice as we go into our Thursday afternoon. Here's the storm chances popping up. As you mentioned, it's hot, it's humid, it's 4th of July. These elevated bases are going to be 10, 15,000 feet tall, meaning that's the bottoms of the thunderstorm. So microburst potential will be very real tomorrow evening. These could produce gusty winds so strong enough that it'll knock your tents around that you have maybe set up to protect yourself from the sun and from the heat. So be aware of that. Notice as we move into the evening hours, there's the storm chances coming in. This is one model. I'll show you several, but there's additional storms moving in. We know we got the upper level support. We know we got the energy that's moving in. We know we've got a frontal boundary that pushes through. And we also know those storm chances are going to be very realized. Here's a look at the severe weather risk. You'll notice a slight risk. This before wasn't even a risk. They didn't have anything. Then they upgraded it to a marginal, and then they upgraded it today to a slight. So it's a level 2 out of 5 because the models have increased the amount of activity and storm activity that's popped up. So there's a look at the timing. Thursday afternoon at the very earliest, more likely Thursday evening. Will this impact fireworks festivities? There's a very good chance of it. Are there going to be issues with the 4th of July fireworks event at the Walmart Amp? Very likely, unfortunately. And it makes sense because there's a frontal boundary that's just off to the north, and you can see this energy that's showing up. We got a warm front. This will probably actually, here's the thing with the rain tomorrow, guys, as we were looking. This almost happened the same thing as it did last night and then brought some rain in the morning. Here's another little bit of that wave coming in. I'm going to take the fronts off of there.
This front keeps
And
sagging
so
south and lifting
that
north.
right there
It's
could bring
coming.
us a little bit of rain tomorrow morning to start off the day as that system moves in. And that's what this HRRR model has for the early morning hours, clipping southwest Missouri. So there it is right there. You can see it moving in. It's trying to. Yes, it falls apart, but it's going to be close. We'll look at a different model here, and we'll show you what that shows in terms of the storm activity. Here's a look at what we've got for this little pop-up shower activity. There you can see it developing. It's just north of us, but it's too close for comfort. That's for tomorrow morning. I'm going to show you additional stuff developing here. Here's a look at the future track for tomorrow evening. Again, storms blossoming to our west, probably moving through the Tulsa area before fireworks are starting. So Tulsa's not going to have as much problem. But where we're positioned with this system, we've got storms coming in 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the evening, and I think that's looking very likely. So we're going to watch that, and that could be an issue. How about that? Watching this from my Oculus headset. That
Nice.
sounds pretty good. I may need to do
Put
that.
it up on a giant wall.
I need to take a little break, and so that's not a bad idea to play some Oculus. Just
Yeah.
kind of do some of the finer things and enjoyable things in life. Here's a look at again that severe weather risk. I want to show you, just to let you know, there was a tornado warning that was in southwest Missouri over the Branson area. So maybe some of your loved ones were having the evening there, or people travel there for the 4th of July. Here's a look at the tornado risk for our day 2 convective outlook. Does it include us? No, but this is the day 2 outlook. And remember, there's energy, there's instability. Now, it'll take a little bit for those tornadoes, if they in fact do develop, because bases of these thunderstorms being 10, 15,000 feet tall, that's just going to be too high. You've got to wait for the temperatures to cool, which is what happened in southwest Missouri. And then the bases started to lower, and then that's why you have that tornado potential. But this is what I think the main threat is going to be. It's going to be from damaging winds, and it's going to be from microburst potential, downburst activity. That's what we're looking at. If you look at the hail risk for tomorrow, it's not as great. It's lower, and it's where the storms initially develop. That's where the hail risk is going to be greater. Then the storms will be moving southeast. Lake forecast, it's trouble. If you're going to the lake tomorrow, it's fine during the morning into the afternoon. No problems there. But if you're like, you know what, I'm just going to camp out on the boat overnight, that's not a good idea, because those storms will be moving in, and these will produce the potential for some strong winds. You get 100 degrees nearly for high temperatures, you got a lot of fuel for these storms. You've got what's called an inverted V sounding, and that's going to lead to the potential for some damaging microburst potential. So there's a look at maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe these storms don't develop at all. Maybe we're just blowing smoke out of our rears. I don't know. But this looks very promising for storms, and models are showing it. And that's the graph model showing the storm activity coming in. Maybe the timing will be a little bit different. It's going to be close. And notice how the river valley doesn't have as much. So southeast sections of our weather coverage area, Clarksville, Scott County, Waldron, maybe not as much activity. And you were kind of mentioning that, Zach, that this is going to be moving in a little later into southern sections of our weather coverage area.
Yeah, and because of that, another point is tomorrow, another hot one. It's going to be another very hot day, and especially with that front coming in to get that compressional warming, the moisture kind of pools up right ahead of that front. So tomorrow, before those storms come in, definitely seeing some more
It's gonna get
dangerous
really
heat.
hot.
Yeah, very hot. Here's a look at the NAM 3 kilometer, just showing you another high resolution model. And everything's pretty quiet in the morning, afternoon. Here comes that frontal boundary. There's the storms, 8, 9 o'clock. I think that it's going to be interesting. And then you'll notice that that line moves through. So really Friday afternoon, evening, if you're out on the boat, that will be great. I don't think you're going to have any problems. It will be noticeably cooler. The temperature will be a lot less. And we have a cooler weather pattern to evolve after this frontal boundary moves through. So that's what we're going to be watching. Here's the European model. And guess what? It also shows storms. So here's Thursday night. There's the storm activity right along the boundary moving through. And then there's Thursday evening, there's Thursday night. I mean, show me a model that doesn't have rain. I got another one too for you. We've got a thing called the Spire model. And Spire model is something that, like I said, we've had access to, we've been allowed access. This is a high resolution computer model. Now, there is a downside to it. It only updates, I mean, there's several downsides to it, but it updates at 6Z the night before and 12Z the morning of. So when you're looking for the evening, it initializes only in the morning. But regardless, you know what? This is what happened this evening with that storm that moved through southwest Missouri, and it actually does have development there. HRRR kind of had it all over. And then you'll notice that it dissipates. Now, here's the tomorrow. There's that little wave coming through in the morning. By the way, 12Z that you see GMT, just to see if that's actually on there. Yeah, it is. So I'm going to do this too. I'm going to go with this so you can see it a little bit larger, more full screen. So there's a look at 7 o'clock in the morning. And then you're going to see the storm starting to develop. There's the frontal boundary moving in. This right here is southwest Missouri at already 5 o'clock. There's 6 o'clock. There's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Look at the storm blowing up over northwest Arkansas. 9 o'clock coming through. 10 o'clock, the boundary starts pushing south. River Valley, not as much activity. There's 11. There's midnight. 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. And honestly, training cells make sense. It does tomorrow. I know that you might not be a fan of this model, but it does make sense that we get training cells. And probably the main reason this is going to happen is because I'm trying to enjoy some time with my family and have a day off. And that's going to be tough to do. Yeah, someone did ask about downbursts, by the way, and I do want to show what that is. So there's someone that right here, Betsy Wood. What exactly are microbursts and downbursts? That's a great question. But you were going to say something, and I interrupted.
Yeah, I was just wondering what the Spire shows for rainfall totals.
It's not friendly. Let's just say that. It's got a lot, and I'll show you that here in just a second.
A lot that's going to happen pretty fast, too.
Was that the one that was 4 inches?
Yeah.
Yes.
4 inches in the span of 4 hours. That's enough to prompt flash flood warnings.
Yeah, so let's do that. Let's bring that up. So I'm going to bring up a weather layer. We're going to go to click on. I got to go add layer, and we're going to go total precipitation. I don't know what the difference is between high impact, but I'm just going to go like this. We'll just do total precipitation. Oh, I think it's just a different color table. So let's take a look here. Let's see, does it have yeah, just total precipitation. Okay, so if we take off the radar and we look at this here, so here is the morning. There's afternoon, there's 7 o'clock. So not really a whole lot happening by 7. There's 8 northern sections of Benton County and northern Carroll County receiving that rain. And then you can see it popping up 1.84. Now, this is where the storms start training. There's an inch in an hour. There's 2 inches. So about an inch per hour rainfall rates. There's 2.78. There's 2.9.
Oh,
there's 4.
Man.
I mean, remember, this is just the model.
Right.
But even though it is just a model,
there's a lot of
if we do this,
lot of rain.
if we look at this and we bring up microburst, this is what a microburst is, in case you're wondering. So a thunderstorm that develops has a base that's very high off the ground. So what does that do? Well, that creates an acceleration when this thunderstorm will collapse. So I don't know why there's no pause points in there. There should be. But anyways, there's a look at that dry air that gets entrained in the mid-levels. And because of the air that's falling, this needs pause points. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to put some pause points in here. Add pause. The cool air accelerates. Pause points.
Well, behind the scenes action.
Yeah.
Well, editing our graphics.
And then it stretches out. Okay. And of course, 100, 400. Not surprised. Saturday morning, get rid of that. Yeah, get out of here. Okay. And then I'll just be up to 400 again. So here is what a microburst does. And now I can kind of point some stuff out and draw on the screen. So, all right. So here is, oh, this is the wrong one. But this is a different one that I had. So this is basically what happens with an aircraft that develops. What happened there?
I don't know. I thought you grabbed the right
I thought
one.
I grabbed the right one, but I didn't. Stand by. I'm gonna bring this up full. Yeah, and we got our wing walker out there too. It's
That's
kind of
the
fun.
sight sound.
The band guy.
Yeah.
All right, stand by.
But as far as rain totals, while you're bringing that up, as Zach and I have mentioned, there's going to be a lot of, you get those high dew points, you got really hot temperatures. That's a lot of water vapor. You can get a lot of rain. We've seen some examples of that in Texas, in College Station, and Houston, and near Austin,
Yeah.
where there's just a high humidity, high temperatures, means a lot of water vapor, which means a lot of rain can fall from these clouds.
So here's a microburst, all right? You got a thunderstorm that develops, and it's got a base, meaning the bottom of the thunderstorm is very high off the ground. Now, why does that happen? Well, because whenever you have a very high temperature and you have a dew point around 70, so let's say you have triple digits. Let's say you have 100 degrees for temperature, 70 for the dew point. Quick and dirty math is you take that, you subtract the temperature from the dew point, you get 30, you multiply that by 2, you get 60, you add 2 zeros, 6,000 feet. That's the base of the thunderstorm. Approximately, it will be about 6,000 feet above the ground. So that means that that is where you have the bottom of your cumulonimbus cloud. So going back to this, here's the bottom of your cumulonimbus cloud. That means when the thunderstorm collapses, there's going to be a downward rush of air. But remember, it's very dry because you have saturation here. And even though it's humid, it's relatively dry. So you have that air that's accelerating because it's getting heavier because it's cooling. So cooler air is more dense. The more dense it is, the faster it's going to fall. And it has a lot of time to fall, which will eventually hit the ground. And when it does, it doesn't just spread out in one direction. It spreads out from a center point, basically a radius. And that's what causes a divergent wind pattern where the air spreads out because it hits the ground and it's forced out in all different directions. I do believe we have some time lapses of microbursts.
We do.
Yeah. So we could find something like that. As the air hits the ground, it spreads out. So that's what causes that damage. And then there's that cooler weather pattern. Let's give you some good news. This is what we're looking at for the second week in July, which makes perfect sense because we've got a trough of low pressure in the East Coast, a ridge of high pressure on the West Coast. Very hot weather is still expected.
I have no idea what
Look up burst. Just look up burst. And maybe something will come up. Because I know I might have called it a downburst or a microburst or something like that. And then you can just drag that into the left side of the screen.
Yeah.
And no, what are you in?
weather.
Just go into the PC because it might be on that drive. Yeah, look up burst. This is what happens when you organize stuff. You never find anything.
Yeah. It's like a Yogi Berra saying.
Mm-hmm. Organized chaos is better. So that's what a microburst is. My tomatoes will appreciate the rain. We had fireworks just a little bit in Da Vista. Hey, Zach. There it
Nice.
is right
There we
there in
go.
Bella Vista.
It's still loading. Still thinking.
All right. How high wind speeds are we talking? Probably 60, 70 miles an hour, I would say. Not out of the question.
Up to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Potentially 70 to 80
So
mile
if
per
you
hour
don't get
winds.
70 miles per hour, doesn't mean somebody else did.
Yeah.
It's just what's expected.
Well, I am supposed to be on vacation over the 4th. That's the plan. Your cloud looks like a buffalo. Yeah, that's true too. It's not a real great cloud, is it? My prediction is too hot, rain evaporates, no rain. We'll see about that, TJ.
That'd be pretty hot.
We'll see if that prediction's correct.
Ryan.
Brandon says thoughts about the hurricane. I don't know about the hurricane doing anything for us. I really do. I mean, we might get some residual moisture from it. That's so far out though.
As far as impacting
South Texas,
South Texas,
northern Mexico, mainland.
It has a chance of turning into like just north of Brownsville, maybe Corpus Christi. I don't think anything more major than that.
How about that? Alex says there is one thing for sure: 100% chance of no snow tomorrow, but it could hail so much it looks like snow.
And a 100% chance of freedom.
Hey, how about that?
Celebration of freedom.
I don't know. Celebration of freedom.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to be free from anything tomorrow with these storms, but you know what, Zach and Peyton, they've got it.
Oh yeah.
We got it.
Hey, finally, what came up?
Bursted pipe. All that for the 2-3
All that?
That's
I
crazy.
don't know. I thought we had several microbursts on video. Oh well. Ew, no hail.
You can probably find a video.
I don't know where it is. I was going to show you a time lapse of it. Let's see here. Oh, you know what? I have it right here. Oh, it's not going to load, of course. Is it?
It's a nice thumbnail.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. I got microburst. It's an older video. I don't know why the other one doesn't load, but here's a good look at a microburst. So see the clouds, see how high they are off the ground, and then watch at the very end. You can see that rain that's just extending down, and then you can see the rain foot as well. So if I go back to this, and you're looking right here, this area just to the left of the building is your rain foot, and that's where the strongest winds are.
Like where you see
So
that rain curving a little bit.
curling around.
Yeah. That's that outward
Right there.
that outward burst and rush of wind.
I wish you could just draw on this without pausing it. All right. So that's what we're looking at. One last look at the forecast with the well, look at the hurricane real quick. I'll give you the latest information on the hurricane because I didn't cover it on the newscast tonight. So there it is, Beryl hurricane, 130 mile an hour sustained winds. The eye is not nearly as developed as it was when it was southeast of Jamaica. The eye wall made it through on the south side of Jamaica. Don't know the extent of the damage. It misses the Cayman Islands, so that's good. I mean, it'll still bring some rain and thunderstorms and impacts. There it is, making its way eastward. Then it starts curving north, but I do not think that it's going to make much of an impact for the Houston area. I also don't think it's going to make much of an impact for us, but we'll see.
Mainly South Texas,
Yeah.
like Corpus Christi, South Padre Island.
We could be getting some residual moisture. Here's the
Yeah.
long range forecast. I'm going to zip through this real quick. Here's a look at the energy swinging in. And this is the reason why I think there's going to be thunderstorms. You can see the energy moving through, and there's the big dip. Now, the bulk of the energy is going to be north, which is why the severe weather risk is greater. But all those little disturbances right there with an uncapped environment reaching convective temperature, mind you, you've got that potential for storm activity in northeast Oklahoma. And it's just like having gasoline on the floor. Those storms are just going to use up that instability, and they're going to race southeast. So that's what I think happens. So here's, by the way, look at the spaghetti models in case you're wondering if anybody's hungry.
Have some spaghetti for dinner.
Yeah. So here's a look. See how they're all like kind of in agreement about the Yucatan Peninsula. Then as they make their way, as it makes its way farther west in the Bay of Campeche, it kind of curves northwest a little bit, but not as much as some of the other models. So there's outliers, and you can see those outliers are definitely for the Houston area. If you're just jumping on here, Sue, we're going to go 2 more minutes on this Facebook Live. We said 30 minutes, and we're shutting it down. Let's give you the very latest timing on this, because it is a good question, considering that we haven't talked about the timing here in a little while. Here's a look at the storm chances. You'll see here Thursday afternoon, evening, storms popping up. Then you can see them moving through at about 9 o'clock. So I think 8, 9 o'clock, there's going to be a lot of storms popping up. And then you'll notice Friday morning, 2:30, storms lingering. So it does make sense. I wanted to show you this too. The day 2 Weather Prediction Center risk has a large area of level 2 right over us, which means that you have scattered flash floods that will be possible. So, yep. So, and that makes sense meteorologically. And then last thing is, if we look at the upper level weather pattern, we know there's disturbances out west. We can see the energy moving in. In fact, you can see it right here. The ridge of high pressure is flattened a little bit because you've got it right here, but we're on the northern periphery of the ridge, which is why those storms popped up in southwest Missouri. Look at what we have here, additional development that could make its way through. That's why maybe there might be some rain tomorrow morning. Yep.
Hope not.
Never fails. And then if we go to the water vapor, there's the dip in the jet stream. It is to our north, but look at all that energy. It's too close for comfort. And with that ridge kind of retreating a little bit westward, we're going to be in the westerlies, and we're going to have that system that comes in. So last look at the 7-day, and that's going to shut down the Facebook Live. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast, first 5 days for you. Taking our camera off the screen. So we do have some severe Thursday night, 70%. We're not hyping it. We're not making it a big deal. We're just saying be prepared. If you have plans, you might be impacted. 98 degrees for the high, morning lows in the lower 70s, 86 on Friday. Notice the storm chances are mainly in the morning, so we can honestly flip that icon around. But storm chances keep it cooler Saturday, Sunday, upper 80s, maybe even some mid 80s. It will be noticeably cooler on Friday evening. Friday evening is looking picture perfect.
I just like
really
those
nice
morning
weather.
lows in the 60s. You know, get out early.
Yeah.
And it's gonna feel nice.
Enjoy a little cool, little dew on the grass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's the River Valley forecast. Lower 90s. You got Saturday, Sunday, lower 90s, and then continuing lower 90s, but also some rain and storm chances. So
We'll take the rain. We've been abnormally dry, so I know a lot of farmers would be happy.
Oh, I think a lot of people will be happy, just maybe not at the timing, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally. If we look at the drought index, I'll show you it real quick because you mentioned that. So we go from this, and newest drought monitor probably won't be out tomorrow because it's the 4th of July.
Government never takes a holiday though.
Oh yeah,
No.
they take all sorts of holidays.
No, someone's there.
Way more holidays than us.
Well, I'm talking about the weather service.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Someone's
Yeah.
always there.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, an actual drought. A D1 drought. A moderate drought in Crawford County, southwest Washington County.
So there's a look at that, and you can see the drought monitor right there. It does show D1 drought in southwestern, as you just mentioned. Don't need to repeat. Don't need to repeat. But yeah, zooming in,
And even further east too.
that's definitely changed. And by the way, Heather, I got your text. We'll we'll get Colin in here to be if he wants to do it. If he wants to be our super weather kid, we'll get him in.
Oh, yeah?
I met him
Weather
at
kid coming?
yeah, I met him at
Awesome.
it was really cool. I met him at Gully Park for the summer concert series.
Nice.
Hey, that was something where the weather cooperated. There weren't
Yeah.
any storms that night. That's right. I had a good evening. That was fun. All right, guys. Anything? Oh, one last thing. I got to let you know about this. Make sure that you set your DVRs. We all know how bad those storms were on May 26th, but we have one supercell to remember. That's our severe weather special, Thursday, July 11th. It's from 6 to 7. There won't be a 6 o'clock newscast on that night. If you miss it, can't watch it at that time, DVR. If you don't have a DVR, we will stream this and we will premiere it on YouTube.
On YouTube an hour later.
Yeah,
So on YouTube, it's from 7 to 8.
that's right. It'll be from 7 to 8. We're going to air it the hour after. And it's always feast or famine for rain in Northwest Arkansas. By the way, shout out to this man right here, Josh Weisel. He did a lot of the editing. So we worked really hard the last few weeks. It will be an incredible special, and we have more things coming too. Yeah, we're taking you through all the events as they unfolded, what we experienced in like near real time. I mean, obviously it's not real time, but the time is going to be laid out exactly when these storms happen, when we covered them. And so, oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, watching this from the VR headset. That's so cool.
Whoa, yeah.
I love
that'd be
that.
Cool.
I love that. So there it is again. One supercell to remember. All right, guys. Sorry if some of you hate me, but yeah, whatever. We'll take care.
Gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate. That's right. Have a good one. Take care.
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th, everyone.
Stay safe.
Thanks to all those that have served, are serving, and allowing for us to have our freedoms that we enjoy every day. Go hit the gym, Zach.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Later.